Okay, I'm just gonna record a little rough video about something I've been thinking about for, I don't know, sometime, months or years. And it's about like creative projects and um, how to like, how to find or create projects that like serve you as far as like, I don't know what your goals are, or what you want to spend your time doing. And what I mean is, I'll illustrate the absence of like the negative that I would like to find the counter to the negative experience I've had. It's not all negative experience. I feel like any creative project you take stuff away from, but I will say that what I have done a lot of, I'm like really good at doing this to myself and not realizing I'm doing it until I'm in it and it's almost too late. It's like creating a creative project that it's designed to meet some goal, whether it's like, oh, I want to do this kind of work or be known for this, so I'm going to do this to like get my chops up, or to like have a body of work in this area, or to get into a certain like realm of like creativity, art, design, whatever. They're projects where it ends up being like way too much footwork and like admin stuff and not enough actual creating. That's one of the things that happens. So like, I suppose for some examples, like, I've worked on this Permission Slip magazine project for some time, which I think there's a lot of lessons in that project, but like, it's just this like group project where like navigating the group dynamic and sort of in order to get stuff done, that's a lot of the time. There's all this stuff like making like a website and like doing all this sort of admin stuff to actually facilitate getting submissions from people, to like build some like buzz about the thing, or have a way to just a website and an Instagram to articulate what this project is and have somewhere people can go and look at it and decide if they want to submit and all that jazz. So it's like the kind of project where it's like, if you want to design magazine spreads, I don't know that I recommend starting your own magazine. Like, if you want to run a magazine, then I suggest starting your own magazine. But those are two different fucking things. Another example, I guess, would be like, I don't know. Suppose this Boys Do Cry project that I've worked on for some time, and first I sort of wanted it to like be not a t-shirt brand, but like I was exploring the idea of like, okay, how like I want to design a lot of t-shirts and I want to print t-shirts, and maybe this will be a brand, and now it's like turned into this like bigger project where it's like I've got the book club and it's all about, and now it's the idea of it has moved towards, okay, I want to like put on programming, like put on book clubs or like meetups or basically programming, like basically some way for people to engage. And then I want to create like a book or like zines out of it. Like ultimately the goal is that I think the ultimate goal is to make a book. Like first the goal would be to like get people to submit writing and stories, about their experience with masculinity and gender, and like publish those in like zines, and then make an anthology of those zines that's like a bound book. Like it's looks cool as like an art and design book, kind of like this size of book, and something somewhat like this, a book that's a collection of writing that has cool design and stuff in it. And so both these projects, it's like there are, there are areas that I want to work in. So like publishing, like kind of DIY or indie publishing, whatever you want to call that. And then obviously with the Boys Do Cry project, I want to say something or facilitate some conversation around masculinity, but also like community. So like the Boys Do Cry thing is like a good example of like running the book clubs and stuff in this way where it's like I want one of the outcomes that I want, one of the like most important ones to me starting out is like I want a community around me. I skate and I'm like into music and I'm into this like gender and masculinity stuff, and I don't it's hard to navigate through skateboarding as like the type of like man that I am, and so I want to try to like do this project to sort of bring people out of the woodwork that I might be like in community with. And similarly, like with like the magazine project, it's like I was kind of part of it was like I would be going to art shows, these like group art shows that like groups of friends would put on, and I'd be like, I want that. Like I want to like throw a cool art show with like my cool art friends. And I felt on the outside of that, and so I wanted to like, build like kind of if you build it, they will come, like create the community that you crave kind of thing. And I just found that there are so many caveats to that. Like it's not that simple at all. And like really looking back, I think like if I could go back in time and tell myself something, I would just like advise myself to be aware of how much like extra work it's going to take, and be aware of all these things that like I started multiple projects like with a group of people that I didn't know well or at all. There was previous projects where I wanted to throw an art show, and like I talked it up, like put the word out, got a group of people together. That's like something that I've done a lot, is like put together an Artist Way group, or put together some kind of group, be like, hey, I want to do this thing, kind of waving the flag for it until I can like get some people that are interested. And the thing is, like, I would advise myself, if I could go back in time, like to not jump right into the deep end of a project with, and this is not like a thing, this is not against any of the people I've collaborated with, but it's just like the reality of like, it's not really wise to like start a project with someone that you like barely know and that you haven't worked with. I would advise people to like, if you want to do a project with your friends, like I would probably advise people to, or I would advise myself in the past at least, to like do something smaller first. Like don't just try to do the biggest project that's going to take a bunch of time and effort when you haven't like tested the waters with this person at all. You know what I mean? Like it's tempting to be like, I think what I've done multiple times is seen people where I'm like, your work is cool, like you seem cool. I creatively, like on sort of an aesthetic or like creative level, like want to work with this person. And I sort of like, if I'm being honest, sort of thought maybe it will be my ticket into like being a part of, and like I'll be making cool shit with other people that make cool shit. But like people are people, man. Like we all have different shit going on. I bring a lot of like shit to the table, both like positive and challenging, like, and so does like everybody else. Like everybody doesn't just magically work well together, It's really good to have some sort of idea if you're going to go in on like a bigger project. It's like a lot of effort. If you're going to do a project that requires enough time and effort that you're going to get resentful if you don't feel like the people that you're doing it with are like matching you in your efforts in some way, and people are going to have different ideas about that. Like there's going to be other people that feel like I'm not matching their effort in a certain way at times. So it's like, yeah, which wouldn't advise somebody to just like dive into the deep end with people that they haven't even done a small collaboration with, you know, or haven't been friends with, really, you know, like, so that hints at the bigger picture of like sort of what I'm trying to say here, which is like, it's kind of all about diving into the deep end and how it's not the thing to do. Like, there's something to be said for just launching into a project and just being like, fuck it, like there's no way to be completely prepared or even halfway prepared, just do it. I think that's like important to do. But one thing I've learned, or multiple things I've learned, I guess, from just doing it and jumping in and being the person that's willing to like be like, hey, I'm doing this thing, come join me. I've learned a lot of stuff about like, I think I've already spoken to it though. I've spoken to like the thing about like working with other people. I think the other aspect that I want to speak of in terms of like diving into the deep end prematurely is sort of like, I'm not sure exactly how to say this, but like a lot of the times I have a goal that I think the project is going to fulfill, that it's not necessarily, you know, trying to throw a group art show with friends or do a magazine with friends, not guaranteed at all to like give me community. It would be sick if it did, and on some level it like has, but like to have sort of this idea of like, I feel out of place in some scene or something, whether it's skateboarding or like art stuff, and like I want to get in the middle, so I'm going to try to like rally people to my project and then do it, I think is going to kind of blow up in your face a lot of the time. I think it's like, I'm trying to articulate what I think about it. I think it's probably better to take the tack of like doing in smaller chunks in some way that you can do it on an ongoing basis, without big like stakes or big commitment or expectations, to just do the thing that you want to be doing. So it's like, if I want to, like, part of the reason I'm talking about this and thinking about this is like, there's one example for me, which is like, I would just like to do like t-shirt graphics and do stuff maybe for like skate brands and like music bands, rappers, whatever. And you know, it could serve me a whole lot more to just pump out t-shirt graphics and just post them on Instagram, or, you know, put them into a deck and send it to whoever, you know what I mean? Like send it to skate companies and, you know, bands or whatever. That would be something that's like very different than like this like Boys Do Cry project, where it's like, oh, I want to make like the tape, I want to make the merch, and I want to like make a t-shirt, and I like want to make a book. There's these things that I want to make, and I want them, but it's like, in order to make them, I need to like build this whole project, which is not design work. It's just a bunch of fucking work. Like, it's just a bunch of stuff I have to do. I have to do all that to have a thing to like design the cover art for, you know? So I think like but one of the biggest things I would say to myself looking back, and that I'm saying to myself now, is like, just to echo the thing I said about like, if you want to design spreads for a magazine, don't necessarily try to start your own magazine. I would say like a similar thing about like other projects, where it's like, if you want to run a project that's about masculinity and like that's your passion, and you want to like engage people with that, which I do, and that's like why I'm doing it, but like, if I'm honest, I'm like starting to look at it more and being like, I really want to, like, I'm a designer, like that's kind of my creative thing. I think ideas are really cool, and like building real shit instead of just doing a bunch of mock-up projects is really cool, or doing a bunch of one-off graphics that don't really like tie to anything or like live out in the world in any way. Like, there's a lot to be said for all that, but like at the same time, you have to ask yourself, like, before you do the whole like if you build it they will come thing, you have to kind of ask yourself, like, do you want to build it? Like, do you want to spend time building it? Do you want to be the admin person? You know, do you want to like not post anything to your Instagram for like weeks and months and not have any new design to show because you spent all your time like running this like book club or like trying to run this magazine? So I think it's like, looking back, I would just ask myself, and I'm asking myself now, like, well, what do you really like want out of it? You know, like, sure, if I could wave a magic wand, I would be the person that like built this whole like Boys Do Cry project about masculinity and like skateboarding and designed all this stuff for it, and it was really notable and everyone said, hooray for you, now you fit in and you're accepted. But like, that's not really that's a very different thing than being like, oh, I'm a designer, I want to like design fucking cool stuff, so, you know, like, maybe I should just sit around and draw like t-shirt graphics for a while, you know, and like see if that goes somewhere. So yeah, I think it's like thinking about, and maybe I would say this to anybody that's, if anyone is watching and has made it this far and like wants to comment or like engage, like, what is for you the balance that you want to have between, when you make a project, between like doing the creative, like making design or making art, and then like doing like admin stuff so that the project can be a real project instead of a mock-up thing. Yeah, be interested to know what y'all think about that. So if anybody watches this, feel free to comment. All right, peace.